The more that I think about it, the more time and effort that I put into, going out and finding places that, gives me my energy, that puts me in such a positive mindset that I can, work on other things besides just, work. That I can focus on not just what makes me happy, but allows me to focus as well. So if I want to do things on YouTube, if I want to focus more on this other part of my life, I have that opportunity set for me. Um, and this really kind of does it. I feel free. Nature's freedom. I still got some things in the distance that remind me of civilization, the city, human, all that wonderful stuff. It's part of my life too, but out here I can just relax, focus on my other ambitions in this life, things that I want to pursue. And I'm not inherently sure. I just know that there's more to life than the everyday grind that most people are suffering through out there. Corporations are inherently not very fun to work for, regardless. Um, they're just not very affiliative in general. Corporations that are affiliative, it doesn't last long because it's the affiliative people, it's the affiliative type of leadership that lures in not just good workers, but also productive workers, the workers that really get the job done, not the lazy workers that know how to kiss their boss's ass and they get promoted because they just show up. Some workers know how to show up and do just enough to where it's like, well, we got nothing else to do with you. We'll make you a supervisor. We'll make you a manager. Of course, to be a manager, you're probably going to have to actually do a little bit of work, but those workers out there that they aim for the job, they aim for the promotion. They don't do anything for the actual production of the job, on the production side, which is why they get promoted really fast, because they don't really do anything. But one thing that they're good at, most of them are very big on initiation, and they do tend to be extroverted, so they're good at do as I say, not as I do, as it would be. That's the corporate world, unfortunately. They're not very affiliative. They're very pragmatic. It goes beyond cutting corners. Pragmatic people, they make the most mistakes, and they don't realize that just because you're accomplishing a goal in the short term, that makes up for the long-term disaster that you've just created for your company. Some jobs, but they do try their best to do this little loop thing to where it's like working in a cave, like working in a cave with basic tools. A lot of companies do that to keep profits up and costs down, but they also fix the environment to where these pragmatic people are able to kind of just do their thing. They continue to degrade equipment. Now, pragmatic people, I've noticed, are terrible at maintenance. Like, they do not maintain company equipment very well, and they do the end justifies the means. I mean, you know what that means to me? That means you're neglecting your equipment, and eventually it's going to break down, and then you're going to be screwed. But by that time, they've already probably, because there's one common thing with pragmatic people is they don't tend to last very long either. Give them a couple years, a couple promotions, they'll be out the door. Either they quit, because what happens is they make all these mistakes, but in the long term, it goes against them in the long term, which is the whole point that the end justifies the means. Well, it just means that you're going to be gone in the long term, and then all those loyal workers, the workers that are good in production, that keep the company actually going, they're left to deal with it. They had to deal with it. These pragmatic people tend to be very, again, extroverted, and they like to put people in a position to where they look better, or put themselves in a position where they look better. I absolutely I'm a very affiliative person. Pragmatic, there are places for it. There are. But when it comes to maintaining your environment, I'm on like a log, by the way, so that's why I'm like moving back and forth. And like sometimes my device will get ready to tip in the water. I mean, it's waterproof, but no need to go overboard like some of these pragmatic people. Like for myself example, I'm very affiliative. I come to work because I'm paid to work. I'm paid to do the job, but I also understand as a affiliative person that I'm working with other human beings, and not simply as a affiliative person. I am a productive person, a conscientious type person, very conscientious. I mean, I'm very open as well. Very open. I have both liberal and conservative aspects in the workplace and outside it. I'm open to new things if they work. I'm open to trying things, but I'm also very conscientious into where we need to make sure that our production is maintained. We need to make sure our workers, their mental health is also maintained. Stuff like that. I guess the biggest point is for those of you out there that are also in similar situations, because I'm also somewhat speaking for example, in example by example. I actually really am. If you're stuck in a situation to where you're working with these types of pragmatic people, there are both introverted and extroverted variants, of course. The introverted ones are a little bit more, they can be annoying. A lot of them are actually very forceful, because these are people that are very pragmatic in their own inner world. And of course, the ones that are very extroverted are just as well. I mean, they can bully the same just as much. I mean, they can be bullied. If you're in a situation, I mean, of course, there's HR. I've see there, it went over. So I've learned I was rocking the log. I'm on a log. It's funny. But I've learned from experience, it's better to go to HR than your manager, than your supervisor. If you have issues, go to HR first. Go up the ladder. Figure it this way. Anyone who has experienced going to their supervisor or manager, they realize that what ensues quickly is a cover-up. Like if there's something like against like an OSHA thing or something really bad, the cover-up begins. Especially the more local and smaller the business, our corporation is too. Like managers, assistant managers, and their little under superlings, their little supervisors, and then they got the convenience employees that are just there just because they need to pay or it's nearby their place of living, and they'll do anything it takes to be in good favor. Again, the convenience employee, which supplies a nice link of gossip, and they are also very anti-affiliative. They are an affiliative cover, as it would be. But you'll notice that, they tend to cover that up. HR does not find about it. By the time HR has found about it, guess what? Your little local, your local job, franchisee or whatever, you realize your manager and everyone under him or her they've already plotted and prepared a plan to pretty much make you look like a jackass. That's the simplest way. They love embarrassing, they love shaming. Go to HR first. Go to HR first. And if And if it still doesn't go your way, HR is going to be a lot better because they can't cover up as best. You might want to create a chain as well, chain of events for HR as well. But if it doesn't work out, just, find another job. Find places or businesses that are actually more affiliative. Those that have to deal with the customer more often, like your fast food chains and stuff like that. Those that are like really direct with the customer, that have CEOs or managers or whatever that are affiliative, they are out there. I mean, those are obviously better companies to go for. If you're the affiliative type. If you're pragmatic, then just continue to be a fucking dick and do what you want. Make yourself look good. Make the business look good. Degrade, devalue your equipment. Humiliate and shame your good employees to keep things going. Promote lazy workers that continue the gossip chain. Yes, they will kiss you at your ass. Yes, they will say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But long term, it does not end well. Anyone who's been in those type of situations knows that. They all go. And of course, at the end of the day, there's also retirement for them all, which if anyone deserves the retirement age being risen, it's these pragmatic people. The rest of us, they might as well downgrade that. Some of us should be able to retire before the others. When it comes to making the production, those of us that are conscientious, those are putting more into the jobs, I think we deserve a little bit more. I'm sorry. Lower our retirement age. And these pragmatic guys and gals, they want to be dicks and destroy these businesses slowly from within and create a little bit of a buddy system. Let them retire later. That's just a little bit of venting. But anyway, that's my thoughts. And being in this type of environment, it helps me focus, and it allows me to pursue other interests like this, where I can be helpful. I can be not just helpful, but like a shoulder, as it would be. Also through my experiences, I've needed shoulders that weren't there to either cry on, like rest my head on, and say, this day sucked, this month sucked, this year sucked. It's been a couple of crappy years, but I'm going to get through it just fine. That sort of thing. So anyway, I'm going to get back to enjoying the beautiful day. You find your beautiful day. You enjoy your wonderful moments like these, and you find those places, these places, your places. Find your places that make you happy, that allow you to focus. Find interests that you enjoy doing. If you're stuck in the grind, there's always hope. There's always hope. It's just a matter of time finding it. So, y'all have a good one.